been blaming me. You been blaming me. Ooh.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Hey guys, Smacks here. If you guys like gaming, swing over to Twitch, Smacks_TTV, live most nights. Stop by, say hi, drop a follow.
Port City Uncensored. Real talk, real people, minus the trolls. Join us Thursdays at 8 on YouTube, X, and Facebook. From the streets to City Hall, you never know who'll show up or what they'll say next. Welcome to the party, pal. Oh, and pack a lunch.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspins Barbershop, located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone.
Guys, if you're into sports, wrestling, or just need some positivity and motivation, check out N1 from the End Zone and click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Hello and welcome everybody to the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone with your favorite host, King N.P.V. You know that's me, ladies and gentlemen. And it's been a long time, it's been over a month I believe, since we actually did a live stream. So guys, welcome one and all back to another episode of N1 from the End Zone. It's actually, it's been very busy, very busy. I had to put my momentum, my YouTube channel on pause for a bit, mainly because of work. Started working a couple jobs, started making money. It's the holiday season, so I got a couple kids, so you gotta capitalize when it's good, and then we will go back to doing what we are passionate about here shortly after the holiday season. So guys, Thank you all for your support. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Also, today's episode is very special because we're not only just streaming on N1 from the End Zone, we're also streaming on the Shady Mob Productions YouTube channel. We're streaming on Twitch, and we're also streaming on Kick. Shout out to, I believe the software is Stream Elements for making this possible on OBS. We're experimenting, we're learning, and so far it looks like it's working out pretty well. So yeah, guys, please hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, without further ado, let's talk some NFL football week 13. Let's start off with some of the Thanksgiving games. So we had the Chiefs playing the Cowboys. They ultimately lost 31-28. Chiefs are in trouble, guys. Their defense isn't necessarily holding up. They've definitely aged. Mahomes is doing what Mahomes does. He still has the Mahomes magic, but it's not enough. This is literally what happens to every team after they lose the Super Bowl. They have a bit of a Super Bowl hangover. For the most part, they're getting healthier. The receivers are getting healthier. Their team, for the most part, is whole. They just need newer pieces. They're too old. Kelsey's basically going to be retiring after this season or next year. Chris Jones is already also on his way out. So the Chiefs are struggling, but the Cowboys, especially with the moves that Jerry Jones has made, they're competing. They're still alive in the playoff hunt. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys somehow manage to win the NFC East. If the Eagles continue to reel the way that they're reeling right now. The Eagles' offense hasn't been clicking at all this season with Kevin Patullo. They actually they lost the Black Friday game against the Bears 24-15. They got their asses handed to them. A.J. Brown actually had a good game that game. I think he went for 10 receptions, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns. They need a new kicker desperately because Jake Elliott is not the answer. I don't know if I think he's dealing with an injury. He has to be dealing with an injury to be that bad at even scoring extra point attempts. Because of Jake Elliott's mishap, they were down 9 points. They could have been down it could have been a 1-score game if Jake Elliott hits at least one field goal, but he couldn't even do that. So there's a lot of questions right now in Philly, even though they're the reigning Super Bowl champions, even though they've had a tremendous season by all intents and purposes, beating the teams that they're supposed to beat. I think they beat the Detroit Lions, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, they beat a lot of tough teams this year, and Jalen Hurts has had decent showings, not necessarily stellar performances, but there have been rumblings coming out of the locker room that he's changed, that his personality's too corny, and the team just isn't feeling him. A.J. Brown seems to be the most disgruntled player on the team with what he says on a weekly basis. So that's something to monitor. I don't think Philly is really going to compete this year in the NFC for a Super Bowl. Again, whoever makes the playoffs is alive to compete, right? But realistically, I think the Rams are probably the scariest team right now in the NFC. Second team that I guess would be scariest would probably be, in my opinion, the Green Bay Packers. Even though Jordan Love, he's like Josh Allen. That's a roller coaster ride, right? The Packers. So this game between the Packers and the Detroit Lions, Jordan Love had a stellar performance, right? He had 4 touchdowns. The Packers won 30-124. The Lions right now, after losing both of their coordinators, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, who is right now 9-2 and the number 1 seed in the NFC with the Bears, they're struggling. The Lions are struggling. They're reeling. It's not necessarily their offense that's struggling because Jared Goff is still putting up points. Their running backs are still putting up numbers. Their receivers their offense is fine. Their offense is doing what it's supposed to be doing, even though they only put up 24 points last game. It's their defense that has taken a step back, and they aren't executing like they were last year, and that's costing them games, and that might be costing them a shot at the playoffs this year. Detroit is something to keep an eye on. Detroit, Jared Goff had a good game. Went 20 for 26 for 256 yards and 2 touchdowns. You can't ask for much more from Jared Goff, to be completely honest with you. And they did a good job stopping Josh Jacobs on the ground. It's just they couldn't. Their cornerbacks could not stop Jordan Love for throwing. How much did Jordan Love actually throw for? I know Jordan threw for 4 touchdowns, but I think he had 234 yards, 18 to 30. They did a decent job stopping him, but they couldn't stop the chunk yardage. And now that Christian Watson is back, Watson has unlocked another dimension for Jordan Love, because he seems to be more of the true number 1 receiver for Jordan Love than Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs, every year he's supposed to be the number 1 guy. He does get the most targets, but it doesn't usually tend to pan out that way. Jaden Reed, my bad. Jaden Reed, a receiver that's on the Packers who's injured this year. Christian Watson. All of those guys tend to be more productive than Romeo Doubs, but that's, I think, because Romeo Doubs usually ends up drawing the number one cornerback, or the number 1 matchup. But yeah, Packers are alive. Detroit is reeling because of the loss that Detroit had this week. It gave us a little bit of a cushion for my San Francisco 49ers, who are right now 9-4 and the 7th seed in the NFC playoff picture, which is insane, because 9-4, we should at least be, like, in my opinion, the 5th seed. But we still haven't had our bye week. Other teams have already had their bye week. I think our bye week is next week, or if not, the week after that. But finally, we get some rest. We get to recover. We get to come back, hopefully a little bit healthier, and hopefully able to compete and close out the season the way we should be able to close it out to make that playoff push that we need to make. Joey B. Burrow. Joe Cool is back, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Burrow. Returning from his injury after, I think, 2 maybe 3 months, whooping the Baltimore Ravens 32-14. The defense did its job, and Joe Burrow and the offense did its job. They were able to take care of the football. They were able to execute. When the game was close in the first half, Joe Burrow took care of the football. They made sure that the defense wasn't put in atrocious positions, and they made that game competitive. In the second half, when the teams were able to adjust, the Bengals were able to make the best adjustments needed, and it unlocked the offense. Joe Burrow finally got his footing. He got his rhythm under him, and he basically just slung that thing all over the place for 2 touchdowns, 261 yards. This is what the Bengals needed, and this is what Zach Taylor needed to save his job, to be completely honest with you. I don't think the Baltimore Ravens are going to move off of John Harbaugh, to be completely honest with you, mainly because John Harbaugh, Super Bowl champion. They are a very stable franchise, and Lamar Jackson was hurt this year again. So I don't think they'll move off of John Harbaugh. But Zach Taylor, back-to-back years where the team hasn't necessarily looked good, and I feel Joe Burrow hasn't been prepared going into the season like he should be. Each year he gets hurt. They don't start off hot. They gotta rally towards the end, and Zach Taylor just hasn't seemed to be able to regain the momentum he had the year that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, in my honest opinion. So even though the Bengals won this game, I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think they'll be able to rally 5 straight games, even with Joe Burrow being back. I think the Ravens might end up winning the North. However, the way things are shaking out right now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers with Mike Tomlin and that defense are able to hold on to that 9-8 record that they need, that they're notorious for, and make the playoffs by winning the AFC North. Moving on to the Black Friday game. Bears versus the Eagles. Caleb Williams, ladies and gentlemen, he's starting to progress. Ben Johnson is putting him in good situations. Caleb is seeming to be able to pick it up. There's still there's still issues, mechanical issues that I think and hopefully can be worked out in the next couple of years. He's still a little bit wild, happy feet in the pocket where he'll tend to try to make a play when he should just stay in the pocket and hit the wide open receiver, the one or two target, the first or second target. But he's been playing a lot better. I ain't gonna lie, he is playing a lot better. There's a reason why the Bears are 9-3 and they just beat the reigning Super Bowl champions. Their defense is playing sound defense. They're running the ball. They're taking care of the football. Caleb Williams is finding the open man, making plays with his legs and with his arms. He also throws a beautiful deep ball. I will give him that much. Caleb Williams doing what he's supposed to be doing as a number 1 overall pick, leading his Chicago Bears to right now the number 1 seed in the NFC, thanks to the Rams' loss against the Carolina Panthers, which I'm honestly shocked. I thought the Bears were going to be the 4th best team. I thought the Bears were going to be the 4th best team in that division. I didn't think Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears were going to look this good this year, this quickly. And so far, they're killing it. The Lions, they're reeling after the loss of Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. I think they're missing Aaron Glenn more than they're missing Ben Johnson, to be completely honest with you guys. That offense for Detroit's still humming. It's their defense that's not necessarily pulling their weight. And the Packers, Jordan Love, because he's a roller coaster of a player, up and down, up and down. That's why the Packers haven't been able to necessarily grab hold and grab the reins of the NFC North, and that's why, or not the NFC North, the NFC North, and that's why the Bears right now 9-3. It looks like they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to make the playoffs as the number 1 seed if they can hold this up, which I don't think they will be able to be completely honest with you. Moving on to today's slate of games. Let's talk about my 49ers. I'll be completely honest with you. Brock did not look good at all, in my honest opinion. He went 16 of 29 for 168 yards and a touchdown. That Cleveland, I'll be honest with you, I thought we were going to lose that game. I thought the game was going to be a lot closer than 26-8. I thought 5 points was way too much. I thought it was going to come down to a field goal, and hopefully we were going to win that game. But we won that game handily, and it's thanks to our special teams. It's thanks to Brock honestly making plays in the red zone when he needed to make plays, because the Niners couldn't move the football up and down that field against the Cleveland Browns defense. We've struggled against the Browns the last 2-3 years, and this year we finally were able to beat the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns haven't been that good the last couple of years. We should have beat them on a field goal, I think, a couple years ago. Last year they shut us completely down. Brock had one of, I think, his worst games against the Cleveland Browns last year, and I was expecting him to do the same thing coming off of a 3-interception game last week. Luckily, he didn't throw. Brock didn't put himself in a position to make Kyle didn't put Brock in any position to throw any obscene balls that could be intercepted, even though Brock did throw a couple of balls that did get batted down and were a bit questionable. He didn't throw a pick, which is essential when it comes to Brock and winning the games. CMC was trying to tote that ball, but couldn't do much. He still got his share of touches, and George, being George, coming up clutch in crucial situations, especially in that late drive at the end of the second quarter, where we got that field goal that we needed to basically put us back up 10 to 8. So, great win for the Niners. Great win for my Bang Bang Niner gang. We're going into I think we have our bye week next week, so we can rest up, recover. Hopefully Brock can get healthier, get more into a rhythm, get more into a flow, and hopefully be able to unlock that offense moving forward, because we're gonna need everything we can get moving forward just so we can make the playoffs and hopefully compete for a Super Bowl this year, even though I highly doubt it because we're missing just a lot of players. But you never know. This defense is young. each week they gain experience. If we can get rest into these guys, get another week of tape into them, see what they can do after being well rested, I think our defense might be the best defense closing out the season, and maybe our offense can do itself justice and help that defense carry us to hopefully an NFC championship game and maybe potentially a Super Bowl. But we'll see. We'll see. Realistically, I hate to say it because I hate the fucking Rams. Fuck the Rams. But the Rams right now look like they're going to be the team to beat in the NFC. Regardless of whatever happened against Carolina, I think that was a sleeper game for the defense. To be completely honest with you, you play that game again 9 times out of 10. I'm taking the Rams to win that game, and I'm taking Sean McVay to be able to beat the Carolina Panthers. It's not that close, in my honest opinion. Second team, I would give it to probably the Philadelphia Eagles, reigning Super Bowl champions. Saquon Barkley has miraculously, even though there's been a couple of, I think he might have missed a game or two, but he's miraculously stayed healthy through most of this season so far. AJ Brown is still there. Devontae Smith is still there. Dallas Goedert is still there. They got a solid team over in Philadelphia, both offensively and defensively. And when the playoffs come with that experience, yeah, man, go for it. I would appreciate that. Thank you, Vintage 4. I appreciate that, homie. Sorry. My train of thought just got lost. But no, I'm sorry. Philadelphia, with that experience, I think they'll be able to hash out any issues that they have, and they'll be able to compete. So it goes for me in the NFC: Rams, Philadelphia. I'm going to give it, if we can make the playoffs, I'm going to give it to my Niners. Mainly because every time we've made the playoffs recently, the standard for us has been the NFC Championship game. Whether we win that game or lose that game, that's where we've been when we've made the playoffs. So if we make the playoffs again this year, I'm giving us a chance to make it to the NFC Championship game. Brock in the playoffs, he might be able to unlock the Brock Purdy that we saw in that Super Bowl run, where hopefully we don't need him to be a comeback kid, but if it's needed, we can put the team on Brock's shoulders in the playoffs, and I think he'll be able to carry us, and especially with Robert Saleh being back, I think our defense is going to be able to hold up that rookie defense, because there's a lot of rookies, first, second, maybe third year players on that team. I think our offense, the experience that they have, the chemistry that they're showing, I think the Niners are the third best team in the NFC. Not that I won't say the third best team in the NFC right now. That's a stretch. But when the playoffs come, I'm putting my Niners third on that list to be able to make a run, just based on the experience, the coaching, and the defense, and all the factors that I just listed. Moving on. My fourth team, I guess you could say, in the NFC would probably, let's see, if the playoffs were to happen right now, I would have to give it to, let's see. I don't know how Caleb is going to react in the playoffs. He could have a run like Jaden Daniels did last year with Ben Johnson. He could fall flat on his face. That's part of the reason why I wouldn't put the Bears fourth, in my honest opinion. However, we'll go back to it later. We'll check it out. I'll give you my fourth option later. Moving on to the Raiders versus the Chargers. Raiders are just bad. Raiders are just really, really, really bad. Their defense took Justin Herbert out. Justin Herbert got hurt, I believe. Justin Herbert got hurt. Geno, their offensive line is just atrocious. Oh, no. Justin Herbert did get hurt. He went back into the game. He was able to close it out. They had Trey Lance come in there, throw one pass. Basically, play cleanup duty in the fourth quarter, right? But it comes out that Justin Herbert might be injured. He might miss some time. They are uncertain of it. Chargers defense did an excellent job containing Geno Smith. That Raiders offensive line is atrocious. There's a reason why the Raiders are just really, really bad. They fired Chip Kelly for a reason. Pete Carroll, that defense. That you got Max Crosby. Actually, you can't put it all on the defense. The defense is bad because the offense is atrocious and keeps putting the defense in very bad positions, and that is why the Raiders are 2-10 and still rebuilding for the upteenth year. Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers, even with an injured Justin Herbert, managed to put up 31 points. The game was basically a stalemate after halftime at 7-7. And then after the adjustments and everything, the Chargers' offense was unlocked. And they put up 31 points. And they're right now second in their division. They're still 2 games behind the Denver Broncos, who are right now, I believe, 10-2 and the number 1 seed in the AFC as a whole. Chargers, I think, are the 5th or 6th seed. They're in the playoff hunt. They've done enough to be in the playoff hunt, but Justin Herbert and all the injuries that team has experienced has really dampened the season for the Chargers, where there were high hopes, where they could have been what Denver is right now. But Sean Payton and that Denver Broncos defense, to be completely honest with you, that Denver Broncos defense is solid. Because Bo Nix, in my honest opinion, he leaves you wanting more. He doesn't execute at the highest level, in my opinion, but he's still a second-year quarterback. There's still a lot. I think when you're a second-year quarterback in the NFL, there's still a lot of room for you to grow. You don't necessarily hit your prime until you're in your 30s in the NFL. Basically 27, 28 to 30s is when you enter your prime. Moving on to the Jaguars versus Titans, I feel so bad for Cam Ward. That Titans team, that O-line, everything about them is just bad. Like, god damn. At least the Titans were able to put up 3 points. Because the Vikings got shut out by the Seattle Seahawks. I think it was like 27-0. That's crazy. Trevor Lawrence, 8-4. I think the Jaguars are still... Oh, no. The Jaguars, Colts are both tied for first place in the AFC South. The Texans are a game behind both of these guys. And the Titans got the number 1 pick this year. Will they draft a quarterback? I don't know if they're going to draft a quarterback. I think they need to draft an offensive lineman, somebody to help protect him. Either that, honestly, they need offensive line help. I'd say you can't go after an offensive weapon if you ain't got nobody to protect your quarterback, and they don't got anybody to protect their quarterback. They also need they need a new coach. They need a new defensive coordinator. They need new everything, just everything. So Cam Ward, I think, frankly, at this point, yeah, get him the reps, get him everything. But if you're going to get sacked as much as Cam Ward is getting sacked in these games, just sit him. Don't let him get hurt. Come on. Just let him. There's something to say about letting your quarterback remain healthy going into his second year. And that's, I think, what the Titans should do during the last quarter of the season with Cam Ward, because it's just getting really, really bad. The Jaguars 8. They dismantled him. They put up 25 points. Trevor Lawrence went 16-27 for 229 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jacoby Myers, guys, becoming like the new number 1 option for the Jacksonville Jaguars is crazy, in my honest opinion. But good for him. good for him. He had 6 receptions, 90 yards and a touchdown. So, Jacoby, you finally found a guy that can get you the ball consistently, who has good arm talent and is supposed to be a star. So, maybe this is the partnership that you need, and maybe this is going to help you get paid. Texans beat the Indianapolis Colts 20-16. C.J. Stroud coming back, going 22 of 35 for 276 yards and a touchdown. Nico Collins, 5 receptions for 98 yards. Guys, this was a defensive slugfest, in my honest opinion. D'Amico Ryans did a phenomenal job calling this game, holding the Indianapolis Colts to just 16 points, because the Indianapolis Colts this year, with Jonathan Taylor and Indiana Daniel Jones, or whatever the fuck you want to call him, Danny Dimes, have been putting up numbers and against good teams. That Chiefs loss last week had them reeling, and the Texans were able to capitalize on that. I think, and yeah, the Texans, it looked like the Texans season was heading in the opposite direction. They looked like the season was just going to be over for the Texans. And I feel like if they had lost this game, it could have been. But with this win, they put themselves a game behind the Jaguars and the Colts, and they're still alive in the playoff hunt. And frankly, the way D'Amico coaches that team, and C.J. Stroud, if he can continue to if he can live up to expectations that we have after seeing him his rookie year, I'll be honest, the sky's the limit for the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts, at least to make the playoffs this year, because they do have, in my honest opinion, a good they have the number 1 defense in the NFL. That's not me saying it. That's the league saying it. And they have good offensive pieces. They have a good run game. They have great wide receivers. They got a decent tight end. There's no reason why the Texans should not make the playoffs in the AFC. In the AFC, if in my honest opinion, it's just super tight right now. I think the AFC is more competitive right now than the NFC, and we're seeing that week in, week out. The Dolphins smacking 21, actually not even smacking, winning 21-17 against the Saints, who looked like they were rallying late in the game, towards the end of the game. I think it was in the fourth quarter, making it a close one, but the Dolphins able to hold on and moving on to 5-7. Dolphins are technically still alive in the playoff hunt. Not just alive in the playoff hunt, they're only 2 games under 500 after starting the way that they've started. Tua is still... I don't know what happened with Tua. Maybe they had a coming to Jesus moment. Maybe it was Tyreek Hill finally getting injured, and not, like, you hate to say, like, you don't want to ever see anybody get hurt. But maybe Tyreek Hill's injury helped get those bad vibes out of the building, which maybe allowed Tua in that offense to find some chemistry, which has clearly happened because Devin Achane is running his ass off for 22 carries, 134 yards, and a touchdown, putting the team on his back. And after that atrocious game Tua had, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, where he threw like 3 or 4 interceptions, I think in like back-to-back drives. Shout out to Brock Purdy, who did that, I think, last week, and we still managed to win that game. God bless. Yeah, it just seemed to be clicking. Mike McDaniel, I think, is a good head coach. Maybe he doesn't have the sauce. He definitely needs a better defensive coordinator, and he needs a GM that's going to give him the proper pieces. Maybe it's time to look into another quarterback, because Tua might not be that guy. But again, we'll see. I think if anything this offseason, Mike McDaniel should be retained, and the Dolphins should look into getting him a GM that can actually help him with building this team the way that it needs to be built, and hopefully adding some character to it. But good for the Dolphins. 21-17 victory against the Saints, who at this point, hey, I know Tyler Shugg had threw for 239 yards and touchdown, 2 touchdowns, but he didn't look that much better than Spencer Rattler, in my honest opinion. I think Spencer Rattler deserves another opportunity. In my personal opinion, if Tyler Shigg is going to look this bad. New York Jets beat the Atlanta Falcons 27-24. Moving up, shout out to Tyrod Taylor leading these Jets to their 3rd victory of the season. Yes, the Jets are eliminated. Falcons are not. Kirk Cousins making, I think, his 2nd start of the season, going 21 for 33 on 234 yards and 1 touchdown. Bijan Robinson running the ball for 142 yards and a touchdown. But none of that mattered because, guys, how did the Jets win this game? Let's check real quick, because this is the one game I did not pay any attention to. Their defense carried them. Their defense had to have carried them, because if you look at the numbers by themselves, it makes no sense that the Jets won this game. Literally, Bijan went for... Kirk Cousins threw 234 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. Only got sacked twice. Bijan Robinson carried the ball 23 times for 142 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Algier, 8 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown. Who else? Kyle Pitts had 82 yards receiving. Bijan Robinson, 5 receptions for 51 yards. Kirk Cousins played a very good game. And Tyrod Taylor didn't have astronomical numbers either. Yeah, Tyrod threw 19 of 34, 19 completions, 34 attempts, 172 yards, 1 touchdown. Their run game wasn't even that stellar either. Breece Hall got 68 yards on 19 carries on 68, 19 carries, 68 yards and a touchdown. Tyrod had 8 carries for 44 yards and a touchdown. But they still managed to win that game. You got to put it on their defense, taking care of the football in crucial situations. Because, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Tackles for loss, sacks. I see no interceptions on either side. Yeah. Wow, good for the Jets. Moving up in the draft. I don't think that's what they want ultimately, to be completely honest with you. They want to draft a quarterback. Who will it be? God only knows, because clearly Justin Fields isn't it. Tyrod Taylor is not it. Aaron Glenn, no offense, I don't think he's a quarterback whisperer, so you have to find the right offensive coordinator for the Jets to get the job done. I don't know. I don't think teams should ever go out there and try to lose, but at this point, victories, they kind of just put the Jets in kind of like the middle pack. Like, you get like the 20th pick, 21st pick or whatever. You're moving up in the draft. You're not moving back. You're not moving down in the draft. Moving on. Buccaneers beat the Arizona Cardinals 20-17. Bucky Irving made his return after being out with an injury for, I think, actually, was it this week or last week? I think, yeah, Bucky Irving coming back, doing what he does best. Baker Mayfield dealing with an injury, but still being able to carry that team. The Buccaneers are now 7-5. The Cardinals 3-9. Jacoby Brissett 29-40 for 301 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I remember when Jacoby first came into the league, and they never asked Jacoby to be the guy to throw the ball this much. And for some odd reason, the Arizona Cardinals have decided, Jacoby Brissett, you are now Peyton Manning. Go throw the ball 40 times. That's not the way to win. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals move off their head coach this year, because I just don't think Mike Glenn is the guy. Clearly, it's not working out. It hasn't worked out. I thought Arizona this year with Kyler Murray and the pieces that they had might be more competitive. I thought they were going to be what Seattle is right now, and clearly, it hasn't panned out that way. The Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield, Gunslinger Baker, their offense is right now struggling, but that's just because Baker's dealing with an injury and he's just trying to keep his team afloat. So we'll see how things pan out. That NFC South division is going to be very, very tight, especially right now with how the Carolina Panthers are playing, who just took down the Los Angeles Rams 31-28. What a shootout. Matthew Stafford did not have a bad game. He had he went 243 yards on 18 of 28 attempts, or 18 completions on 28 attempts, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, and I think he threw a pick. Carolina Panthers, if Matthew Stafford throws an interception, you have a better chance of winning that game than if he doesn't. And he threw them one and kept the Carolina Panthers after the abysmal showing they had last week against my San Francisco 49ers. I'll be real with you. I thought the Rams, if the Niners were able to do what the Niners did to the Carolina Panthers last week, I thought the Rams were going to mollywop them. But the defense on the Rams came into this game sleeping. They came in confident because of what they did to us, how they shut us down. They thought they were going to be able to do to the Carolina Panthers, but the Panthers came to play. They're like, we here to play, baby. We trying to win our division. We trying to make the playoffs. Bryce Young trying to get a contract extension, and what better way to go out there and make a name for yourself than beating the number one seed right now in the NFC, which was the Los Angeles Rams, and taking them down a peg. And they did it. They whooped that ass 31-28. It was a close game, but they held on for dear life, and it worked out. It worked out. I think the Rams, this is a wake-up game for this is going to be a wake-up call for the Rams, and the Rams, I don't think, lose another game to close out the season, and if they do, they might lose one at most one more game this season in the last, I think, 4 or 5 weeks of the season, to be completely honest with you. Carolina is still alive in the South. I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers somehow miraculously end up winning the NFC South. And I called it. I said the Panthers, it was going to come down to the last game of the season when it came down to the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because I just thought it was just going to be such a close close division. Close division, in my honest opinion. Moving on. Vikings, 26 zilch. 26 zilch. They put up 0 points against the Seahawks, who smacked them. And Sam Darnold didn't even have a solid game. I think Sam Darnold got hurt in this game. Literally, Sam Darnold, 14 completions on 26 attempts for 168 yards. Their defense carried the Vikings, because Sam, I think, got hurt. Their run game wasn't doing much. Vikings defense actually did a decent job containing Sam and containing that run game and that passing attack. But the Vikings just don't have a quarterback. They sat J.J. McCarthy because of concussion protocol. They should have just played J.J. McCarthy. Like, I understand, Kevin. Maybe you want to get a earlier draft pick and you're just tanking at this point. But you drafted J.J. You still have him under contract next year. You sat him in favor of Carson Wentz. You played Carson Wentz, who basically didn't have an arm, instead of J.J. McCarthy, because you thought J.J. McCarthy was bad. And then you sat him again after he got put in concussion protocol. You could have played him, I think, this week. But you went with Max Brosmer, who goes out there, throws 126 yards, 4 interceptions. puts your defense in atrocious positions. Just saying. That was not the brightest move. And there was a point where the Vikings offense made it to the Seattle side of the field, and he threw a pick. And that basically sucked all the life out of it. Justin Jefferson is going to ask for a trade. Jetta's going to ask for a trade. At the end of this year, Jetta has to ask for a trade because he's squandering his prime with Minnesota if they're not going to be making the playoffs, and it's a year in, year out situation. Because even if they do make the playoffs, they never usually make it past the first round, and if they do make it past the first round, they never make it past the second round, even with Kevin O'Connell. I don't care what anybody says. But yeah, good for Seattle. Not the best game for Sam Darnold. Vikings defense is stellar. Brian Flores deserves an opportunity to be a head coach somewhere. Just saying. But yeah, not the best game for Seattle. Sam Darnold and that offense they were honestly stumped by Brian Flores and that defense, but they were just able to do enough to just be able to get the 26 points that they needed to just blow out the Vikings at this point. I'll be honest, I feel like the Vikings defense, they're just so irritated and they're just so done with the situation. They're just like, yeah, you want to score here? Take it. Just take it. Moving on to the Bills-Steelers. Aaron Rodgers called out the Steelers wide receiver room today after the game. And you know how Aaron usually does. Like, he'll take shots, he'll call them out for making boneheaded moves or whatever, and he won't necessarily take accountability for the team only putting up 7 points. Yeah, your receivers, maybe they did something that maybe there was some miscommunication between you and your receivers, but dog, you're the quarterback, and you still only managed to put up 7 points. What in the motherfuck is going on? Josh Allen didn't have a tremendous game. Josh Allen this year has been roller coaster Josh Allen. He hasn't been the Josh Allen for the last couple of years where he's been consistent. He's been roller coaster Josh Allen this year. And roller coaster Josh Allen went 15 to 23 for 123 yards and a touchdown. He ran for another touchdown. This game was a James Cook game. He went 32 carries, 144 yards, and that was what was needed. In the first half, the Bills were held to 3 points. After halftime and the adjustments were made, they decided to just give the ball to James Cook and have him tote the ball because the Steelers couldn't stop him, and they toted him. They toted his ass to 144 yards and a score of 26-7. Steelers, I think they're going to finish 9-7. The Bills, they're going to make the playoffs. The Bills, they might not win the AFC East, but they are definitely going to be making the playoffs, and they're going to be a threat. They're going to be a threat mainly because Josh Allen, his legs, Sean McDermott in that defense needs to vamp up because the defensive side of the ball is his area of expertise. You need to be able to stop these teams in the playoffs, especially if you're going to be on the road. So, Bills, I'm not afraid. I am confident in the Bills. So for me, the teams to beat in the AFC this year would probably be the Bills number 1. Number 2, in my honest opinion, and this is kind of hard, I'd have to go with the New England Patriots. Not because of Drake May or anything that he's done, even though Drake May last year did look decent and look like there was a lot of potential there. Mainly because of Mike Vrabel and what I saw him able to do with the Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. He has Drake May. He has a young core, Stephon Diggs, Kevon Booty. He has Antonio Gibson, fucking Ramondre Stevens. He has like 3 or 4 or 5 running backs that like are decent. Like that team is deep and young in New England. And to be completely honest with you, it's kind of like my Niners, especially right now with how the playoff picture is kind of looking. I like the New England Patriots more than... So, I like the Bills number 1. I like the Patriots number 2. I'll give the Broncos that third slot just because of Sean Payton, the area of expertise. That Broncos defense being fucking stellar. I think it's top 3 in the league, in my honest opinion, even though they didn't necessarily have a tremendous performance against the Commanders today. They still got to stop when they needed to get a stop. And Sean Payton is still a tremendous head coach. The only thing that I think would hold back the Broncos, to be completely honest with you, is Bo Nix. But right now, Bo Nix hasn't been the issue. Today, he threw for 321 yards and a touchdown, 29 completions on 45 attempts. Not necessarily the most efficient game, but Sean Payton is not afraid to let Bo Nix throw that thing, okay? But yeah, that's why I have the Broncos third, because of Sean Payton and that Broncos defense. Fourth, I would have to honestly give it to either the Texans. Honestly, I'd have to give it to either the Texans or if the Chiefs. No, not even the Chiefs, because the Chiefs aren't in the playoffs right now. If the playoffs ended today, I'd give it to the Texans. C.J. Stroud's been to an AFC Championship game. D'Amico Ryans has been the head coach that's got him there. The experience factor, I think that team is deep. They have the number 1 defense in the league. That would be my fourth option in the AFC to make a run. So it goes Bills, Patriots. Bills, Patriots, Broncos, and Texans. Those are my top 4 teams. To close it off, we'll close it off with the Broncos in an overtime victory against the Marcus Mariota-led Washington Commanders, who relied on Jake Moody kicking a game-tying field goal to end regulation, and then they went down there after the Broncos scored. Marcus scored a touchdown, but at the end, when they went for the 2-point conversion to win it, Marcus had the ball batted down, and that Denver defense got to stop. Talanoa Hufanga has honestly been phenomenal for the Denver Broncos. Shout out to the former Niner. And yeah, honestly, overall, today's games have been tremendously fun. A lot of action, a lot of stuff going on. I already told you guys my 4 teams in the AFC. I only gave you 3 teams right now in the NFC, and those 3 teams were number 1. I have to give it to the Rams. Number 2, I'd have to give it to the Philadelphia Eagles. Third, I got to bang and rock hard with my Niner gang, because every time we make the playoffs recently under Kyle Shanahan, we make the NFC Championship game. And fourth, I'd have to go with the Green Bay Packers. The addition of Micah Parsons, that defense, Jordan Love, maybe you catch him on a good week, but they have a tremendous plethora of wide receivers with Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Matthew Golden. They have... I think Tucker Kraft might be out for the season, but they also drafted another tight end. They have a deep run game with Josh Jacobs and his backup. Their defense is set. That's the 4th team in the NFC. So those are my 4 AFC and NFC teams. And with that being said, guys, thank you for watching this latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. I know it's been a while. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. I really do I appreciate you all. Always remember, desire is power. Again, remember, this is a very special episode because we're not just streaming on N1. We're streaming on Shady Mob Productions channel. We're streaming on Twitch. We're streaming on, I think we're also streaming on Kick. And then we're also going to be trying to learn and stream on Facebook. It looks like Facebook actually might be streaming right now. I'm going to have to go and check if it is streaming, because if it is streaming, that'll be awesome. But yeah, guys, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that like button, so you can be notified when the latest content drops. I really do I appreciate you all. See you next time.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Production is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Hey guys, Smacks here. If you guys like gaming, swing over to Twitch, Smacks_TTV, live most nights. Stop by, say hi, drop a follow.
Port City Uncensored. Real talk, real people, minus the trolls. Join us Thursdays at 8 on YouTube, X, and Facebook. From the streets to City Hall, you never know who'll show up or what they'll say next. Welcome to the party, pal. Oh, and pack a lunch.
Guys, join me, Alex Zim and Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspins Barbershop, located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone. Guys, if you're into sports, wrestling, or just need some positivity and motivation, check out N1 from the End Zone and click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Guys, you're watching the Shady Mob Podcast. This is where we discuss our favorite movies, TV shows, and where we talk about life. Please like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops.